injury affected round with late pullouts across the board, hurting people.
It's a big score. That is a big score. Right, that's Super League taken care of. Let's take a look now at results from elsewhere in the world of rugby league. Okay, so to other results then. Mark, League One and the Championship took a break this week. It was a Challenge Cup weekend, and we'll start up in Dewsbury. It was Dewsbury 36, Newcastle 8. London were defeated at home, called it, 26 points to 30 by the Toronto Wolfpack.
Yeah, and we had a couple of people at this game to give us their views. Dr. Hideous said, a 40-20 for London off their first set, a try for the Wolfpack off theirs. Set this up to be an exciting game. A second quick try for Toronto made it look like it would be a kicking, but the Broncos pulled back and made a great game of it. A lot of London's opportunities came from penalties, but poor handling lost them the game. 2 tries were fluffed by knock-ons when the last man was easily in. Good beer in the bar.
There you go. And Bri Davies got in touch with us as well.
Yeah, Bri had quite the weekend, and it started on Friday in London. He said, great start from Toronto to get a couple of early tries. London came back at them, but left it too late. So whilst it was only a 4-point margin, the gap was bigger than that. Loads of errors by London. Got picked out to do the crossbar challenge, which was a nice bonus. That pitch feels lovely underfoot, though I blame the wind for my kick hardly getting off the ground. Great night out.
Yeah, I think have you seen the video of him?
No, is there a video?
There was a video, yeah. I'll say this: he was kicking into a very strong wind.
Right. Okay.
When he made his attempt, but there you go. There for the grace of God go we.
Yeah.
It was Oldham 40, Haydock 12 as the amateur side bowed out of the competition, and this one was streamed live on the BBC Sport website, Mark.
Yeah, Haydock had an 8-0 start with 2 early tries, didn't they? And it was getting all exciting there for a while, but Oldham then took over, and Scoots 28 Mac covers that all very well with her review. She said, great to see non-Super League rugby on TV. A good start from Haydock, but once Oldham got into their stride, there was only going to be one winner.
There you go. And Bri Davies got in touch again.
Yeah, he managed to watch this one amongst all his travels. He said, BBC have really injected some life back into the Challenge Cup this year. The problem has not been that the final is in August, but that everyone ignores the Cup until the quarterfinals, and then it's just 2 Super League matches on the BBC. In this game, thought Haydock did well, especially to lead 8-0, but Oldham avoided the banana skin and their superiority told. Good on Haydock, though.
Okay, so down in the south of France, it was Toulouse 16, Batley 34.
And again, we have our international correspondent for the weekend, Brian Davies, who was at this one. He said, there is something special about watching rugby league in France. We had the usual last-minute switch of grounds, which meant I had to rely on some random French bloke to drive me from the usual ground to today's ground. Thank you, monsieur. Toulouse had a young side out, and Batley took advantage. Tio focused on making the middle 8. Batley directors are hoping for a financial bonanza in the next round, so expect Toronto away. I thought Toronto had given up the right to host any cup games because of travel and stuff like that. It'd be interesting to see, because if it lands during a home segment of their season, because maybe they didn't expect to get through the championship sides at this early stage in their running, but
possibly.
But for Batley, it's a massive turnaround from the first game of the season when they were completely tonked down in Toulouse, and now to come back and beat Toulouse, obviously a weakened Toulouse with other focuses. With a focus for that side. But yeah, thanks for Brian getting in touch. He's got a couple of nice anecdotes from those 2 games he was at this weekend. I don't know if Brian's thought of doing this or is in the process of doing this or has any desire to do this, but I'd like a Brian Davies memoirs of his time on the road, because he's such a well-informed and
he gets
interesting rugby league fan, and he often has more balanced views. He pulls us into line when we go a little bit strong on one thing or another if we get emotional.
He does.
And he does the same with others on Twitter and that sort of thing. And he's not doing it to show anyone up. He's just share.
Level-headed nice.
He wants to share it and wants everyone to have that sort of same pragmatic approach. And I agree with almost everything he says most of the time.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I'd love to see like a Brian's tour diary sort of thing because last year he did all the grounds, didn't he?
Yeah.
And
he's getting about again this year, isn't he? So
It'd be great.
It could be very interesting stuff, couldn't it? Let's take a look at the remaining results in the Challenge Cup then. It was Swinton 40, London Scholars 8. Barrow were 20 points to 0 winners over Keighley. York got a 26 points to 20 win over Rochdale, so a bit of an upset there, Mark.
Definitely, yeah, well done to York.
Hull KR were 48 points to 10 winners over the Sheffield Eagles. Halifax beat Hunslet 20 points to 6, and the Gloucestershire Allgolds were defeated at home 22 points to 48. Cue some feedback from our Gloucestershire fans by Doncaster. Did not say it was Gloucestershire Doncaster.
I don't think so. I'm not sure. Maybe you did. So obviously we've got our hardcore contingent from the Allgolds. Alan Witts we'll start with a half-time score of 18-16. The game was very much in the balance. A poor second half from the Allgolds that was littered with silly mistakes. Although it was the right result, the scoreline flattered Doncaster. Their fans were impressed with the Allgolds, and I'm sure other clubs will be too. #FollowTheFern.
Like it.
Lee Randall says he's at Allgolds SG if you want to follow him and find out about all the supporters group activities from the Allgolds there. He says a frustrating afternoon for the Allgolds, who were in the game for 65 minutes. In the last 15 minutes they were woeful and let in soft tries. We go again next week, come on you Allgolds. And Ethan O'Gorman, who, as we know, is a Cast supporter but Doncaster correspondent, he goes, Doncaster once again continued their 100% start to the season. They took an 18-4 lead, with the Allgolds fighting hard to come back to 18-16 at half-time. However, the Dons came back out with all cylinders firing, with Kieran Cross crossing for 4 tries for the Dons. Full credit, though, to the Allgolds, who are looking like a good contender for the top 8 in League One.
There you go, yeah, thank you, Ethan. And final game of the round saw Bradford defeated at home 13 points to 21 by Fev Rovers. Lots of changes being rung by Lee Beattie there, but credit to Fev for getting a win. A win's a win, so they progress into the next round.
Lots of bad weather, wasn't it?
It's just been garbage all over the place, but yeah, Odsall particularly has a lovely climate at all times of year, Mark. I don't know what you could possibly mean. Into the NRL then, third round of competition down under. Melbourne Storm were 14 points to 12 winners over the Brisbane Broncos. It was Canterbury Bulldogs 24, New Zealand Warriors 12, Mark.
Yeah, inside down in Dunedin, and James Graham had 139 metres for the victorious Bulldogs.
Gold Coast Titans were 26 to 14 winners over the Parramatta Eels.
Yeah, and Joe Greenwood picked up a try assist as well as a head knock in this one.
There you go. Newcastle Knights were defeated at home 18 points to 24 by Souths.
Yeah, and obviously we have the normal Burgess chat here. So Sam Burgess had 196 metres, was very strong for the Rabbits in this one, got the last 5 minutes off as the game was won. George Burgess played and was sin-binned. He's up for a charge. I think it's going to be a couple of games for him after he lashed out and caught with a forearm/elbow against his opposite number and had a bit of a fight there. And Tim G Radio got in touch about this game.
Yes.
Nice to hear from Tim. He seems to spend most of his time following Brentford around the world. I wonder if he ever runs into my mate Tom, who is also a Brentford season ticket holder. They met when we went down to the London game. I don't know.
All right.
The one at Wigan played at Millwall, so I don't know if they ever bump into each other down at Brentford.
At Griffin Park.
Yeah, but he says, quite a tussle of a game. Burgess with the punches. Great to see the strong reffing at the end. Imagine if they were as strict in Super League, John Wilkin would be binned every week.
Yeah, this was the sin-binning for Trent Hodkinson, wasn't it? He told the referee that he'd cost them the game, and the referee brought him back and stuck him in the bin.
Yeah.
Fucking fair play.
Totally.
There you go. Keep your mouth shut, Trent. No, I liked it. It was Penrith Panthers 12, Sydney Roosters 14. The North Queensland Cowboys were defeated at home up in Townsville 8 points to 30 by a resurgent Manly Sea Eagles.
It was a phenomenal display by the Sea Eagles, not what I was expecting at all. They were so tough in this game, and then were able to attack well on the other side of it. And North Queensland were missing a few in the pack certainly, and it's a big holes to fill with Tamalolo and Scott. But they had the halves, and those two halves are
very good.
Shit hot. So.
Yeah, shit hot. Yeah, absolutely. Next one. Canberra Raiders 46, Wests Tigers 6, Mark. A drubbing for the Balmain side.
Other than like a loose pick-up breakaway try for West Tigers, there was nothing really for them. And the Raiders were awesome. Elliot Whitehead had a try and a try assist. Hodgson also played his part in this game, but didn't pick up anything on the stats lines. Whitehead was back in the second row and back doing what he was doing. One of the first try set, the try set up for Jordan Rapana was a phenomenal soft hands offload. That if it was the other way round and it had been Leilua passing it to him, the Aussie commentators would have been absolutely jizzing uncontrollably about it. But it took them until after the advert break to even acknowledge how good Whitehead's touch was, it felt like to me. I don't know if this was just me being a little bit jingoistic or whatever.
Possibly.
But honestly, it was a phenomenal piece of play from Whitehead, and he was strong throughout. His try was gifted to him by Junior Paolo, who could have scored himself, but put it on a plate for Elliot Whitehead. I don't know if they had any bets on try any time for Whitehead.
Well, it's not. It's not like Aussie rugby league players to have a bet. It's not like rugby league players to have the odd bet on themselves, is it?
The Raiders looked like the Raiders of last year. That free-flowing, high-scoring, exciting team. They're the Cass of that division to me.
High praise indeed to say that they're the Castleford of the NRL. Final game of the weekend saw my Sharkies defeated 10 points to 6.
We had a review from Ethan.
Did, of course. I'm very sorry, Ethan.
He said, after last week's defeat to Penrith, I was looking forward to us getting back to winning ways. However, it was not to be, with our defence being the biggest issue. We're level with 10 minutes in the first half to go, but the Raiders scored 3 quick tries to take a 20-6 lead at half time. They came out strong and end ripping the Tigers' defence to pieces.
There you go. So as I was saying, final game of the weekend saw my Sharkies defeated at home 10 points to 16 by the St George Illawarra Dragons.
Yeah, tough loss to take for your Sharkies. Gareth Widdop was 4 out of 4 with goal kicking, which was important in this one for the Dragons, who were very, very tough.
I've expected Froggers to get in touch on that one, but he's remained gentlemanly and quiet about the whole process. So.
No, but for the first time since 1973, what a stat this is, I picked up from
this is good
the Rugby League Project guys. Every side has a win by the end of round 3. The Storm and the Roosters make up the top 2, with 3 wins from 3, and then there's 10 teams with 1 win from 3. We do have a Super Brew for the NRL, don't we? That brews the setup that we always forget to mention.
We do. Well, let's talk about it now, because we've had a quick look at it and it's brought up some interesting things.
Well, Dr. Bob Phillips is leading the way with 20.41 points total. But
there you go.
I'm not sure even how much for NRL he sees.
No, so he's obviously some kind of NRL savant, isn't he? So fair play.
Reigning champion in that competition.
Sincerely, I have a cure for cancer. Isn't getting pushed out of his mind by this.
He's in 3rd place.
Yeah. Fair play.
Yeah.
Exciting times. How are you getting on?
I'm in 5th. I'm doing a lot better in that than I am in the Super League.
I suspect we'll be hearing about it more in the coming weeks if that remains the case then.
Well, I think I came 3rd last year behind Brendan Loftus, who's in 2nd again this year, and Fev Tyler Caspan, who won it last year. But
Aussie Super Brew.
Well, yeah.
There you are. Okay.
Get around it, because it's still early stages, and with 8 games a week, there's lots of points to be picked up on a weekly basis.
There are indeed. Okay, that is the world of rugby league covered for this week. Let's take a look into the future now, and we bring you our predictions for round 6 of Super League. Okay, Mark, so a full programme of Super League fixtures this week, starting on Thursday night, the televised game, Wakefield taking on Lee Centurions down at, I can't remember which call it, Bellevue.
The Beaumont Legal Stadium.
The Beaumont Legal Stadium,
yeah.
There we go. I wonder if that's any relation to the owner of the visiting side. I like the look of Lee at the minute. I think if they can emulate some of the performances and the form and the shapes that they were putting up against Warrington, they might have a good shot in this one. Wakey, sporadic against Leeds and not really at the races. They've got moments of brilliance in them out on the flanks, but through the middle and distribution wise, just not clicking for me. I'm going to go for an away win, Mark. I'm going to predict a 4th consecutive Lee Centurions victory. Close one though, low scoring affair, 18 points to 14 in favour of the Lathers.
I'm going to go with the home side. I think these two teams are quite close. I think last week's sort of down effort for Wakefield isn't representative of how they've been going overall. in the last month or so. They've been competitive, winning tough games, and I think at home they'll do that. I think they've got a good impact off the bench. I don't know where Liam